We are going to make our first 3-rotor flange for the exhaust out of aluminum. There's a lot of learning for me, and there's a lot of things that can go wrong. So we're gonna do it out of aluminum first. It's quicker. We can see on the engine if this piece will line up. Maybe someday we'll run the engine with all aluminum and see how that melts. Right inside of this 7075 aluminum is our exhaust manifold flange, and we're about to cut it out. There's a lot of new operations all at once. Okay, please do not hit the holder. Curious though, because if we actually have a face mill, you can feel a little bit of weirdness in it, but it looks pretty. Oh, I could definitely take that down even more. That is the back side. Now we're gonna pop, lock, and drop it, and flip it and reverse it, and then cut the whole front side. Hopefully these holes made it all the way through so we can actually figure out the center to these holes, and then now we know where the thing is in 3-dimensional space. So here we go. I've now flipped the piece upside down. We've determined where it is because of the holes. And now I'm gonna try and cut the top face out. I'm gonna leave a little bit of space just in case that messes up, but you guys will watch what happens with me. Needless to say, I beat the crap out of this car. Let me show you guys something. I'm a huge fan of Valvoline's products, obviously the racing products for all of my rotaries, but even this car, I don't have to think about it. What's crazy is this is one of the very first high mileage products ever made. That's not even it though. There's more. Valvoline has came out with extended protection. This is basically the cream of the crop. You're gonna see in the video where we tour the engine lab and the oil lab, but there are 4 main horsemen of evil things happening to oil, and that's wear, deposits, friction, and heat. And this is the product that came out of that. They're not only meeting any of the industry guidelines, but also far exceeding some of them. So really fascinating to see that it's not just marketing, it is real results that make this product so amazing. To illustrate one of the benefits of the extended protection, this is a little extreme, but you get the point. This sort of carbon type deposit is something you do not want in your engine. Deposits are bad, we all know that. But extended protection has even more detergents in it to keep that clean. And what that means is that means better lubricity. That is actually the correct word. And also better protection against wear and all the other things. The fact is, I can just oil it up, change it, and keep going. So there's step 1. That's a rough pass. You can actually feel a little bit of that. But I can come back through here and smooth it all down. That's pretty wild looking. We're gonna drill the holes, at least half the holes on the outer ones, because they're meant to shift a little bit, let heat expand and contract. So we'll drill the original holes and then we'll actually mill the extra part out. But for now, we'll get all 6 holes drilled. Oh, it's definitely close because the holes are emptying out. The tip just got to them, you can see. That 3/4 inch material, that's way thicker than 3/4 inch, and I keep forgetting that. Oh my God, CNC, it's just amazing. Even with a drill bit. There's a lot of testing for me personally, and this is a perfect example. We've drilled those holes in, but now we're gonna extend the outer ones so the thing can shift as the heat expands and contracts. That said, we're gonna be sticking a little baby tool inside of that drill hole. The machine doesn't know that we've already drilled the holes. That's what we've done. We might hear a little bit of nothing for a second. And we're using a tool we've never used before. We're just gonna do a surface finish. I can do those by hand. That's just a learning experience for me. But you can see a hint of what it's gonna look like soon. I mean, we're gonna get down to that layer. It is finally time for the finishing pass, so the top will look kind of like it does now, but all smooth, a little bit nicer on the edges. that is the current version of the finish. Oh, that feels pretty damn smooth too. It is finally time to do the last operation on this, which is cutting this out here. But as you can see, you can actually feel it. Every time it's hitting this outer area, it causes the tool to bend the slightest bit. Well, this area is all nice and smooth. There's a little bit of chatter all along here. Here's the ultimate test. This is the type of tube that would go in here, and hopefully it fits maybe about 10 thousandths extra, just in case somebody has some warpage or whatever the case may be. Of course, I could tighten that back in. This was just something for that reason. Not every piece that comes in is going to be perfectly square. It's going to come in on an angle like this. We can work with that. Inside is perfectly smooth. Now it's time to cut this thing. This is actually the scariest part for me, is we're going to just simply cut out the outside of the thing. For the machine, very simple. For us, very scary, because now I'm going to try and leave tabs so that chunk of metal doesn't go flying. Oh shit, chunks of metal will go flying. Okay, you guys get to watch this. Chunks that are going to go flying are these little triangles right in front of us. In the computer's mindset, those are connected to something outside of there, so those are going to pop off as shit gets crazy. So I might slow down the machine. It's going to be bad. We're on the last pass, and like I called, well, you guys get to watch this. Oh, dear God. So the guys here were begging me to do that, and I had to try it. It chucked one of these. You'll see it on the GoPro.
One came straight at me.
It'll probably hurt the tool doing that. Ignoring that part, I'll clean up these edges, and then we can play with this piece. We're gonna take this thing over to the bandsaw. Oh, that is so cool. It did it right on that side, but you can see that the height is off on both sides, and then we get to see the final product. Clean up these outer edges a little bit more. What's very important is that even though we have the slotted holes in here, they didn't cut all the way through because the thickness of the material was thicker than 3/4 of an inch. But let's see how, oh, that means they're not gonna line up. We're gonna have to cut them more. Only reason why is that I cut them on one side, not the center. If they weren't slotted, that thing would be on there. Oh, look at that one worked. Yeah, you can see it working. And that nice taper on the inside goes right to the shape of the inside of this tube. Fits perfectly. This is a 1/2 inch thick, plus the 5/8. We actually go out of our way to make it thicker just for these lips, so you can weld them on and make a really nice clean transition there. So that's the whole reason we made this custom piece. Cleaned up the widths of these holes. Let's see how this fits the motor completely. Okay, it took no effort whatsoever. So of course the engine will be a little bit tighter, but that is directly in the middle of the slot, which also makes it easier when you're pulling things out. It lets you maneuver that little bit. But I think the proof is right there. All those holes have that nice taper in from that. Yeah, that's pretty damn exciting. Now that we've done the aluminum version, we're going to do the big boy version, which is stainless, which this machine, by a lot of CNC machinist accounts, is not meant for this. It'll do it, but this is one for aluminum. We're going to continue on and see just how crazy this gets. So this is the first time of cutting stainless. Whoa, what a wild look. Made a small edge right there. That looks like it's got tons of texture, and you can feel it a little bit. Looks aluminum-ish, but it is not. I'm sure this tool's pretty trashed at this point. Got like the just the slightest bit. Then you can see me testing different speeds here. I basically pulled an all-nighter to get to this step to make stainless steel look like aluminum. This is pretty crazy stuff. I've got rough facing, I've got the holes exact, and now I started doing the pockets. So what you guys are about to see is the rest of the pocket work being done with this tool here. For those CNC wise guys, I did all this with the 3/2, so it's a little off center, but it looks worse than it is. It doesn't actually have that much of a feeling to it. But these pockets are pretty rough. We're gonna go ahead and keep sending it, but it's crazy. This is stainless steel we're machining like it's almost nothing. What's going on right now is, say we have a little pocket like this. I had used a 1/2 inch tool to make the pocket. Well, the corners are much smaller, so what it's doing is it's cleaning out those corners with a 3/8 inch tool, and then I'll end up going down to 1/4 inch to finish those pockets. But the 3/8 tool is the biggest one. I can fit into all of the pockets and get some material out. So this is the beginning of the next step for us. Stainless is such a different animal to work with, but I'll go back over all of this, start facing it with the correct facing, and these edges, you know, that looks gummy. Somebody else said it, called it gummy, and that certainly is gummy. But this is a roughing pass, and it looks like it did a pretty damn good job at roughing it out. So my goal is to try and support the exhaust that's coming out of here, but also not allow it to heat sink and bleed every bit into all the other metal here, and then go back into the engine as coolant heat. This is just a hint of what's going on with the next era of stuff here. Again, this isn't a finished product, but I want you guys to see this. Look at these edges that we're doing. This is so sick.
Wow, well there it is. There's the final front side of this piece. Just me. But I wanted you guys to see this before I fully cut it out of that base metal right there. Those little chunks are going to be little weapons. Oh shit.
You notice something?
But
There's nothing there. There's no chunk of metal. It fell off.
so it didn't tab at all.
It tabbed, but the tabs are too small. We're gonna stop it there. Oh, look at it vibrating like crazy. It trashed the whole side of the tool. Oh, look at what it was doing.
Jeez.
I can't believe it actually cut all that. Oh wow, I can feel why. It was pushing it. So we're gonna just take the bandsaw and cut all of that, but oh my god. We threw it right there, but we'll certainly be able to take this down a couple thousandths and undo the damage. But that was my plan to begin with, so we're lucky there. The tabs were not big enough. This is the very first time of seeing it in still a rough form, but oh my god, I don't want to put it in the car. I want to keep it the way it is. I made sure that these insides, these holes were finished halfway down, like smooth. So that way when we put it in the CNC machine, you bounce it off of this, we know where it is in three-dimensional space, and then actually make their gradient, you know, their like taper, and then I'm actually gonna make plugs with bolt holes in them. So then those plugs will go in those radiuses. I'll hold it on those parts specifically, and then do the outer edge and take down this as much as I want to take down. So that way it's being held from the holes that we've now created. So this is what my tapered holes look like before they've been machined with this little guy. That is ridiculously beautiful. It looks more like it's got an edge than it actually does. It's pretty damn smooth. Flat, tapered. This is my 5 in the morning adventure. I've made 2 little aluminum spacers, but they're not really spacers. They're just this angle, the exact same piece flipped inside out with a 1/2 inch hole drilled through them. So they are holding the piece in place. That's the goal. So this one I used to figure out where it's at, and then these 2 are holding it in place. And we're gonna see if I can do this whole backside without anything clamping any of these corners down, so we get a nice, consistent, smooth finish on this. These are sunk down just the slightest bit, so they probably won't affect the metal too much, but I'm gonna do a long ass 2-hour pass to get a nice smooth finish on the backside, and then we'll take this last edge down and clean it up and see what we get. Well, so far it looks like it's working. Isaiah's about to get this thing. About to show him it for the first time. It's not finished, but it is usable finished. I haven't done the outer contour, and I gotta clean up the piece on the bottom. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
The edges feel real nice.
Yeah, none of this was done by hand.
Well, I want the tube to fit, you know?
I don't get your reason for that.
As long as it welds. This is actually a 304. This isn't the cheap stuff that everybody gets with 303, which I absolutely hate. If you guys could feel this, you guys would know this is American made.
Yeah.
They pulled this metal out of my backyard, you know? This is some good stuff.
It took 2 hours to do this back face, but you feel how smooth that is.
You see the design, but it feels smoother than a Brazilian wax coochie. The cool thing about this flange is I kind of got this from the Racing Bee flange, and I've had people make flanges for me before. And so if you weld that tube like that, you're welding straight to a flat material, this is how most people make flanges, which is getting the flange hotter, which makes it warp more, and which it actually ends up being more work for your fabricator or your at-home people or whatever, because how the hell are you gonna flatten this? A lip on a flange is like the best thing to weld to. So that way it doesn't warp the flange as much, and a thicker flange, obviously, you can put more heat into it, which allows more mistakes. And then this tapered edge on the inside. Once this is done, this is gonna be perfectly tapered to the inner diameter of this, which allows me to fuse this weld in here without like any effort. So this thing will be the best thing I've ever welded to as far as rotary flanges. So now tomorrow I'll go get the material for the 6 rotor, 4 rotor, 2 rotor.
You son of a bitch.